Arman Tsarukyan, let's start with this. Oh, my God. I mean, Arman has campaigned for this fight for years, okay? And we don't know the full situation because we weren't there. And I don't know if you've spoken to anybody. I haven't. And I assumed, look, listen, this happens. It's MMA. You know, sadly, things go wrong. We are only human, like I just said. But given Dana's kind of short response at the post-fight presser, I'm not trying to put words in his mouth or anything. I would have thought Arman would be up next. Injuries happen. But the fact that he said no, he's going to have to build himself back up. And he was kind of short, and he spoke about Heather. And again, I'm, reading between the lines here, and I could be wrong, but it seems like maybe the injury wasn't that bad. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I gathered from the same clip I'm sure I saw of the press conference with Dana, and the way he said it without saying it, because he knows he doesn't want to be that guy. He's not in there fighting. He doesn't know, the level of the injury. But when you have your head physical therapist, and Heather is a miracle worker, and she has fixed people up and gotten them in there when it didn't seem like they were going to. I gathered the same thing, that maybe he thought he was he could have sucked it up a little bit and went out there for such an opportunity. And he's gone on social media and even agreed with Dana, saying that, he knows he's got to work his way back up. He knows. And I'm sure that something was even told to him, like, look, man, if you don't get in there this weekend, that's fine. We're not here to put an injured fighter in there. We don't want to do that. But it's probably going to go to somebody else after this. So if you can't make it, just know we're not screwing you over. We're letting you know ahead of time that, we waited a long time. This matchup finally happened. Islam showing up. He's there. If you can't make it, you get pushed back a bit.
So I did a little live stream on my YouTube channel just for some of the prelims, and people were talking about that and kind of throwing around the man's a coward and stuff like that in the comments. And I was like, look, what are you talking about? Okay, he's already fought the guy. He fights all the time. He just beat Charles Oliveira. He gave it a really good go on his first attempt on short notice. This is obviously before I heard any of this stuff, so I don't know what it was. Again, given the limited amount of information that we do know, but if we extrapolate and read between the lines, I don't know. Maybe the pressure got to him, or maybe he just thought, I'm not 100%. I'm not doing it. Go ahead.
I think that some guys, when it's not all lined up, when things aren't perfect, a lot of fighters don't give a shit. Let's be honest. Like, they want to get in there. They're just wired that way, right? Even with injuries, setbacks, they want to get to that fight night, no matter what. Some guys, if it's not picture perfect, man, it's just where they are mentally, they will back out. And I imagine that he had a legit injury, but I do imagine, and again, we're just speculating. We're just trying to figure this out ourselves without knowing all the info. He probably could have fought, but would he have been at the absolute best? No. Would have other fighters probably gone in there and done it? Yeah, but maybe he's confident in his skills, knowing that he's got to go back to the back of the line for a little bit, that he beat those guys and he'll get back anyway. But my ass would have got in there, Michael.
Me and you both. We know that. We know that. We definitely shouldn't have been cleared for a few of the fights that we took part in. And I'm not trying to rip on Arman here. It's just that he did say recently that he wasn't fully invested, and that's going to come back and kind of bite him in the ass now.
We talked about that, right? We talked about what does that mean? And there you go, like a little bump in the road, maybe a big bump in the road. I don't know, but there you go. Suddenly he didn't make it. He talked a lot about that kind of stuff, and again, these are things that come back to bite you in the ass when you say that kind of stuff out in the open to the media, saying, "Oh, I don't need this. I'm not fully invested. Let's see if somebody's not fully invested can win." And then suddenly you don't even show up. Even if it's not all correlate, lined up together, it looks that way.
It looks that way, and critics are going to point that out, and people like me and you are at least going to have a conversation about it because it's conversation worthy. Of course it is. So anyway, listen, whatever happens to him, I hope he comes back. I hope he gets a couple of wins. I'm sure he will, and he's going to have to earn that right again. He's going to have to prove that he can be dependable. I mean, the Intuit Dome, that show was unbelievable. It was, I was blown away. Merab Devalishvili. I could have sworn I saw Eric there Saturday night.
It was John. It's John Wood. Somebody, my buddy Bill, who was here, he's like, "Oh, isn't that Eric, your buddy?" And I was like, "No, that's John Wood, the other guy in Vegas." You know what I mean? But same builds, beards, same hair.
Hat backwards.
I can see it.
Merab Dvalishvili, I always talk about the importance of cardio in a fight. And if that right there doesn't embody that, I don't know what will, because Umar's good. He comes from the lineage of the Nurmagomedovs, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, the whole team, Eagle MMA, Khabib in the corner, undefeated record, was beating him on the scorecards for the first 2 rounds. But if you can keep up the pressure, if you have the ability as well and the skill to go with it, the heart, the will, the determination, you're willing to be a nail for a little bit, then come back and still try and be the hammer, not give up on your desire, your dream, your goal, and say, okay, I'm down a round or 2, but hey, it's 5 rounds, baby. Let's see how you are in rounds 3, 4, and 5. If you can do that, there's no stopping you. I mean, Jesus Christ, Merab was phenomenal.
I as soon as it got into the 3rd and it started going Merab's way, I was like, man, I was wrong. I should have backed this guy. He's such a savage in there. And I just, every time, not that I underestimate it, and a lot of times I'm picking Merab to win, but I thought Umar was going to be able to just do more work on the feet, but Merab, his stand-up is effective enough with the gas tank that he brings and the amount of takedowns that he's willing to not get in order to push the pace, because you have to wrestle defensively. And Merab can wrestle offensively all day. So if you don't have that gas tank to do that and then still strike, you're done.
Yeah.
You're
and
done.
He was swinging as well. I mean,
he was because he kept pump faking that takedown and he was throwing that overhand like a monster,
hooks like crazy,
like a machine.
Putting a show on as well. Harrington and Brian jump on. I know Brian was keeping track. How did we do in the predictions? I know I got awful. Well,
so bad.
Did I say Islam Harrington jump on? Did I say Merab?
I have been slacking. I didn't do the tallies yet. I meant to do them last night.
I don't think I got any.
So as far as I remember, everybody was on Islam except for Paul. Everybody was on Umar. You had. I
picked Merab.
You picked Merab. You sure?
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
after our
record of it.
I believe you had RDR and Almeida. I know you had Yuri. So if you had Merab, that means a full clean sweep for you, Michael.
Jesus Christ. I mean, come on, let's go. No, Merab was awesome. He really was. It was incredible. And then, putting on the show, hyping everyone up, chatting away to Dana or whoever it was, on the front row by the octagon, the whole time.
I'm pretty sure it was Mario Lopez.
Oh, was it really? Okay. Entertainment tonight.
Oh, Slater, shit. Baby. Slater.
Yeah. No, he was phenomenal, man. He was phenomenal. And I think, and we'll get to Yuri and Jamal in a minute, I think now, I don't think there's anyone to beat Islam. I don't think there's anybody to beat Merab. I really don't. I mean, what do we do with Merab? I don't think there's anyone to beat Ilia Topuria. There's probably not anyone to beat Pantoja. Granted, there's always the next guy. But I don't think that guy has materialized yet. When you look at Merab, O'Malley beaten, Umar beaten, Piotr Jan beaten. Sandhagen hasn't fought, but I would pick him to beat him. After that, we're getting down to 5 and 6. Marlon Vera, Cejudo, number 7. I don't see anybody anytime soon beating Merab.
No, and I mean, and Cejudo is coming back against Song Yadong, right? Isn't that the fight that's happening?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we closely watch that fight and see how Cejudo looks coming back, see if Song can get a big win over a former champ. You're right. I think that's
Merab already beat Cejudo last year.
Yeah, then I don't know.
Beat him quite convincingly, to be honest. Yeah. No disrespect to Cejudo, of course.
But if Song, let's say Song, God forbid, goes and gets a dominant win, I mean, is he coming off a loss, though, Song, or is he on a win streak right now? I'm not sure.
Hey, if he beats Cejudo,
it doesn't matter, right? And they need an opponent. Yeah. I agree.
Then that'll be the guy. All right, this episode is sponsored by Shopify. And Shopify are here to make it extremely easy for you if you're thinking about starting a business. If you're an entrepreneur, you want to take things to the next level, you want to get online, you want to have an e-commerce site, you want to sell to the worldwide audience, get your store up and running easily with thousands of customizable templates. No coding or design skills required. All you need to do is drag and drop. Their powerful social media tools let you connect all your channels and create shoppable posts and help you sell everywhere where people scroll. Shopify makes it easy to manage your growing business. They help with the details like shipping, taxes, and payments from one single dashboard, allowing you to focus on the important stuff, growing your business. Sign up right now to Shopify for $1 per month, a trial period at shopify.com/believe. All lowercase. Shopify.com/believe to start selling today with Shopify. Shopify.com/believe.